Denny. Like I like Denny's.
Can you imagine if it was Danny and Denny?
Dan.
They'd probably be twins.
Hey, I like Denny's though. Give me a little.
Oh, Denny's.
I haven't been to Denny's forever.
Moons over my hammy.
I tricked you guys. I pressed record. I don't know if you noticed that, Jimmy. So you could do the intro.
I gotta do the intro. I don't know if I remember it. It's been one episode. I probably forgot it. You want me to try it?
If you want to. From the
ladies
top.
ladies and gentlemen, resellers across all platforms, Pocket Change Podcast proudly presents episode 20.
Double digits.
Greatest reselling podcast in the world. It's Joe, Philly, Picker, Dan, and the man who's moved up next to me over here.
Oh, wait.
And I'm Jimmy, old school flips.
See,
and
you guys are Pocket Change, and then I'm just your lackey down here, I guess. Allowed to say
That's
lackey.
our sidekick, Dan, in demand. So I'm gonna have to start saying the sidekick.
What's sidekick? Dan in demand.
You should be doing the intro.
are you?
No, I found out without you here last week. I don't. The intro's it's too much pressure. That's why I was like, because you guys are laughing because of course I was being hilarious, and I was just like, I'm just gonna press record. Like,
what?
So now Jamie, don't be mad at me that I pressed record.
I'm not mad. We were talking about your brother Denny.
Yeah. But then I guess I could be fraternal or identical twins, and then it'd be Denny and Danny.
Danny and Dan. Well, Danny.
And then
Danny.
somehow it went right to food. Denny's.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, somehow
Of
it's
course.
Denny's.
Yeah.
Do you have Denny's in Philadelphia?
I don't know if we do. I don't think I ever been to a Denny's.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
know
honestly
if
remember
Denny's
last time I
might
went
be-
to a Denny's.
And I only
probably.
been to a Waffle House one time.
Yeah, I've been
Me
one
too.
time.
Yeah, it
One
was
time also.
yeah, and it was with OBX Picker took me there when we were in Cincinnati.
That makes
this year.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That Eric is the one that took you.
Yeah.
I
We're
went.
talking about. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I just went probably 20 years ago. I was coming home from Florida. I was on spring break with my friends, and the whole way down there, we see Waffle Houses every however often. And we're like, oh, on the way back we should stop. So on the way back we stopped, and the whole time during I have to tell you this because it's part of the story. Then, because it's the only reason I'm telling you this story is that I hung out on the beach when I was in Florida. Obviously, I was right on the beach, but I was hanging out. Didn't put sunscreen on. Like I was always bad about putting sunscreen on.
I was just gonna ask you if you got a good tan.
I got like third-degree burns on my feet.
Oh, the tops of your feet?
Yeah, the top of my feet.
Oh.
So when I was so I couldn't even wear shoes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know.
And when I was coming home, so we stopped at Waffle House, and I was wearing flip-flops, and the waitress like stepped on my foot and I started screaming. It hurt so bad.
I'll never forget. It's one of the things that sticks with me today that my dad always mentioned as we were kids. Like, is make sure you put sunblock on the tops of your on the tops. He didn't really care. I mean, he wanted us to put sunblock on all the time, but
My feet were so swollen.
Yeah, still to this day, the first thing I put sunblock on is the tops of my feet. I do not want them to get burnt. You know what I mean?
I had to go to the doctor, and I was off of work for like another week because my feet were so bad.
Did you get blisters on there?
Blisters, they were blistering. I couldn't even feel my feet. And I had to my friends, we took turns driving, and then my one friend, they were like, Dan, are you ever gonna take a turn? I'm like, I can't feel my feet. I'm like, but I will. So I was driving through the Tennessee mountains for
going 95.
I probably went.
Feel my foot?
I probably went 20 miles. They're like, you know what? You probably should pull over. Oh man! And they were
usually good to feel your feet when you're pushing a gas pedal or a brake pedal. Like it's usually a requirement.
And so this is. I was in my early 20s, so we were, we didn't not. This is not the saying that I have a lot of money now, but I didn't have very much money. I was doing okay. I was store manager of a Blockbuster Video.
Yeah,
on the fast track ride. But so no one wanted to. No one wanted to stop. We just stayed in the car and just drove nonstop. And then I'm like, can we please? I will pay for a hotel, because I'm sitting in the back of a Dodge Neon.
Oh man, a Dodge Neon
in the back seat. And I'm not tall.
A lot of room back there, huh?
I was eating potato chips, so my sodium was My feet were swollen. My ankles were swollen. It was just a mess.
It's just
So
adding to the water in his body.
I was retaining so much water. So we ended up, we got in a fight. I got in a fight with my friends, and they ended up getting tired. And so I'm like, oh, please, I will pay for the Red Roof Inn. But we ended up sleeping at a rest area. So I went and I slept on a bench outside. We're in Georgia, and I slept out on a bench for. It was like 40. It was
overnight.
Cold. Yeah, during the night. And like this trucker came and gave me a blanket because he felt bad for me.
You gotta say blanket very clearly. There's a lot of things that trucker could have gave you. I'm just glad it was a blanket.
It was I came home. I mean, it was an ordeal, and I came home. I didn't speak to my friends for probably 6 months.
Jeez,
all that because you guys brought up Waffle House. I'm sorry.
That's awful. I burned my ankles really bad one time because I had my socks on when I put my sunscreen on it, and I didn't even think. And I was going down the Salt River in Arizona, and you're on that river for like 4 hours, and on an inner tube, and I'm just floating down this river. No. Yeah, same thing, like 3rd-degree sunburn on my ankles. I couldn't walk for like a week. Been there. It's not fun.
I don't have a real cool Waffle House story, so. But I do have a story I probably shouldn't tell. I don't know. I don't know if Kevin Commonwealth Picker would enjoy the Waffle House story.
Oh, we have to hear it now.
So when Eric took me to the Waffle House, like I said, it was my first time there. We walk in, we end up seeing Shad Juice. You remember Shad? You know Shad Juice. Commonwealth Picker and Death Pile Picker. So they're sitting at a booth.
Kevin, Mike, and Mike.
Yeah. So they're sitting at a booth. You know, they're just about done eating or whatever. So, but me and Eric had just gotten there. So we're sitting there and we're eating. We said a couple words to Kevin and those guys, and all of a sudden they get up and leave. So the waitress comes running over to us and says, "Do you know these guys? They didn't pay."
What?
So it was Kevin was supposed
we got
to
the
pay.
Dirt now.
Yeah, Kevin was supposed to pay. The two Mikes had already gone out to the car, and Kevin just kind of like snuck out behind them. So he forgot to pay. They thought that Kevin already paid. So needless to say, Kevin ended up paying, but I thought that would be a good story.
This is a great scandal.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell Dave and Carrie that but I kind of promised that I wouldn't. So I figured I'd share this on here. So,
Wait, you told them you weren't going to tell the story, and you told the story?
No, I told Kevin I was going to tell Carrie and Dave, figuring that they would bring it up on their podcast and, mess with them a little bit on there. So I figured, you know what, let's hold that story until our podcast.
Oh, so you decided to sabotage our podcast?
Well, I didn't say sabotage. I
mean, you're calling out Kevin the Commonwealth Picker.
I'm not calling him out.
That's the title of the
I just picture like in the movie Dumb and Dumber when they're like grabbing all the Slim Jims and all the newspapers and stuff because it's on Kevin and they're just like grabbing Mike's grabbing everything.
What's the guy's name? I was just watching that movie last night.
Seabass.
Seabass.
What? Dumb and
Dumber. Yeah, I did I was on the movie draft last night, and I was Paul Philly Flipper picked out Dumb and Dumber, and I was like, I wanted to watch that movie yesterday. I couldn't find it. And he's like, it's on Netflix. So I was like, seriously? So I looked it up, and then I got done. I started watching it. I think I just saw that part where they just put it on.
So you looked real hard for that movie, is what you're telling us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I searched for it on Max, on HBO, on Max, the app at Max.
Oh, you got Max money, huh? Because they raised the price.
My brother's my roommate, and he had it. He has it. So
Denny,
yeah,
Denny has it. All right,
yeah. All right.
We were talking about his name because, like, everybody in the world is getting like Facebook hacked right now, or something's going on. We were all talking about how we all got logged out of Facebook. I'm worried.
Yeah, I couldn't get into Instagram either. I had to manually type in this.
I know. I don't. App. I mean, all the messages I have to return from people. A message.
Your social media is blowing up right now, and you can't respond.
Yeah.
But what if this is like What if this is like breaking? What if like the entire world of Meta got hacked, and we're all hacked right now? We're breaking news right here on the podcast.
But then
I'm sure
I
My
it's not
would
that big.
Instagram won't work either.
Well, this was fun.
This-
So next is going to
it's
next
the
is gonna
end.
be all these recording things. I don't even know if that made any sense. I don't know if you can. I got sick again over the weekend.
Man, sick again?
Again, I went to a surprise birthday party on
Surprise,
Sunday.
you're sick.
on Sunday, and I woke up yesterday, and I was laying on my back, sleeping the night before, so I thought I was snoring, and I thought it was my self-diagnosed sleep apnea that made my throat hurt a little bit. And then as the days went on, I was like, oh, that's scratchy. So then my nose started running.
So it wasn't
need to
sleep.
make,
It
like,
wasn't
your
sleep
own-
apnea.
No,
No.
no.
Just a sort,
You need to
sort
Now
of
make
I'm
your
like,
own self-diagnosed CPAP machine.
I
Is there-
should make one. Did you just buy one? Oh, I should go when I go garage selling.
Yeah,
there was a
they're in the
garage sale.
bin. I'm sure that's safe.
It says prescription only, but if I just, I can self-prescribe it to myself.
Yeah,
There
there you
you
go.
go.
Self-diagnosed, yeah.
let us know how that works for you.
Probably
tell you
not
right
gonna
now.
work out very good.
So what? So did you go to this yard sale or did you just drive by it again?
No, I didn't even drive it by. I just looked at the pictures on Facebook yesterday.
When is it?
It was yesterday.
A Monday yard sale?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there was a Monday yard sale. It was like 70 degrees here yesterday.
And you didn't go
Yeah.
to it?
Well, I didn't. To be honest, I didn't. I don't think I would have went anyway, but I didn't see it till it was like 10 to 4, and I didn't see it till later. Like I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday.
We got a barn sale on Thursday coming up, and it starts at 5 p.m.
Oh,
You
you're
guys
gonna
do
go up
more?
looking for the true vintage up in the
Yeah,
crawl space?
well, I'm going. And they
There's-
actually, I found out about it from my true vintage friend, so he'll be there.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your true friends.
Yeah, my true friends. Yeah, yeah,
There's
not you
the-
guys. Come on.
There's a few estate sales that do it like a 5 p.m. start, like on a Thursday or you know what I mean, like for 5 to 8 or whatever. But I've
There's
never been to a yard sale on a Monday.
I had a garage sale on a Tuesday or Wednesday. This is when I first started getting into reselling, back into it. Like I got into it in like 2013, 2012, something like that. I saw like
You've been
I don't know
selling that long.
no, so it was a I don't know if I've talked about it on here before. I know I've talked about it other places. I saw some TV show on Spike TV.
Oh yeah, that
I forget every time bargain. I don't remember every time it had one of the guys I know is Jason T. Smith because I still see him around
yeah.
like Facebook and stuff. Not today though because Facebook's hacked. I saw a thing where they were thrifting and I thought it was so awesome. So I went to a Goodwill with $40 and I bought just random stuff. I had no idea what I was doing, obviously. And I bought stuff and I did it for like 6 months. I was selling a lot of like I was looking for not specifically clothes, but kind of retro. I called it retro back then. I was looking for like sports stuff, like sports clothing, like cool stuff like that. And I only did because they used to have Goodwill used to have like half off sales every other week, and their prices for like t-shirts were $2.99. And anyway, but I used to do auctions, which is I would never do now. But I don't know if it was bigger then. But every once in a while, I would piece that would go good. But now it seems crazy to sell clothes at an auction price, right? Like,
What was it? Thrift Hunters?
yeah, I think so. I think that was
Okay.
the one.
Yeah.
But I did it for like 6 months, and it was one of those where I just bought stuff all the time, and I would make a few dollars and think I was like killing it, but I just collected. I basically became a hoarder and just collected everything. And I have a right now where I keep like my electronic stuff in my closet. It was filled. It was just like a regular, like almost what do you call like a not a pantry? What do you call like a closet in your bathroom? You know what I'm saying?
Linen
Like
closet.
like a linen closet. It's like an
Yeah.
extra closet in my room that it fits a shelf. It fits one of my shelving units in there, and it has all my electronic stuff. But before I had like a TV stand in there, and I just filled it up with my junk that I bought from the Goodwill, and it was just piled up to this almost to the ceiling. And so anyway, fast forward, I did it for like 6 months, and then I quit. And then fast forward to 2019 is when I got back into it. But during like right now, I decided I wanted to clean out all my. I was trying to get my life together So I was cleaning all that closet out, and I started donating. I had starter
I
jackets.
was
Like
just
I had
gonna
all
say,
kinds.
was any of that stuff from 2013 in there still?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it was
yeah.
all probably good stuff, huh?
It was starter. Like I used to find starter jackets and like all kinds of good stuff. I donated it all, and like when I got to the end of donating stuff, because so then I signed up for like gig work. I signed up for DoorDash, Uber, and like Instacart because I was trying to get my life together because I was about to turn like I was 39 and I was trying to be like an adult by the time I turned 40. So I was like I was like, I gotta get out of debt. And then I was interested in like the stock market. So I had bought I bought like I was obsessed with the stock market and I bought an option on Disney. So like, do you know what options are?
No.
You buy like a so like, do you know, Joe?
I heard it. I don't know the
So
exact rules of it or all
like
that.
I don't know the exact rules because I'm not like I'm not an investor person either. But it's like you buy. So if Disney's worth like $85 right now, I'm gonna buy like a call for it. I think by X amount of days it's gonna go up to this price. Like, and it might be I think it's gonna be $100 in like 2 months. So then I buy it at that price, and then you if it trends up, it's gonna go up, and then when it gets to that date, you can either sell it off and you make a profit or you like lose. It's like it was a very stupid
Dan
gambling.
just became the Leonardo DiCaprio of our podcast. He is
No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Wall Street right now.
People are listening. If they're listening to this, they're like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Which it became like I bought it this one, and then I started actually buying like regular. I was buying some stock instead of doing this, but I bought a Disney. I was like obsessed with Disney, with this Disney stock, and I bought like a call for it until like the end of it was the summer of 2020, and I bought it in like 2019 or something like that. It was this massive amount of time. So when I got into reselling, I wanted to buy the stock at that price because I thought it was going to get to like shoot up and even be like worth way more than that. So I thought I was like, I'm fast tracked to being some kind of like millionaire.
Yeah.
And
but what happened in 2020?
Well, to be a few weeks before that, I had a few times I was like, I should sell out because I can make like a decent amount, like return, and I can do some real like because you don't own anything really. You just
if only you had bought GameStop. Sorry.
Oh, I was way off on that. Like, I mean, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't pay attention. I was out of it by then. But like my Disney stock, I remember at one point they were doing their earnings and they were like crushing it, and I was like, the world would have to end for me to like lose money on this. And then all of a sudden, like 2020 happened, and I got my butt kicked on it. But I eventually ended up buying stock in Disney, and all it's done is tank since then too. So like now stuck waiting for it to just keep rising, and then to like stuff keeps happening that makes me watch Disney stock just fall. Like they, I mean, I know it's Super Tuesday, guys. So I know I don't want to like. It's not political. We're not a political podcast as much as Joe wants to be, but they keep doing stuff that keeps like stuff. Will you shut up? But now then I got a little excited this week. I heard there's I don't know this. I just heard it this week. I don't know if it's the truth, but Disney's
we're just going straight political. That's what's happening right now. This podcast is just going straight to the political.
I don't know.
Pocket change podcast.
We're almost 20 minutes in. It's almost time to start talking reselling. But that's how that's so
basically the moral of the story. If Dan tells you that he's buying a stock,
don't buy it.
Just steer clear of it.
Yeah.
Well, Diamond Fist. Did you watch that? There's that Netflix movie about the GameStop thing that happened.
What was the other one? What was the other one that went crazy? Oh, AMC. Was it the movie
AMC.
theater? AMC,
yeah.
I didn't buy either of those.
No.
I got to go to yard sales. I was when I was in Arizona. Sonia and I on what morning? Friday morning. We got up for like 2 hours just to kind of get our mind off of things. Went to some yard sales. I found a binder full of Magic the Gathering cards for $25, and it's full of cards. I don't know what's in there, but I have enough luck on them to know that if I make lots of like 20 cards. You know, I'll just sell them in lots and I'll make plenty of money because it's just full of cards.
What's that card from Magic the Gathering? That
oh yeah, the Black Lotus.
Yeah, did you see Larry, Way Out Larry on?
I need to message Larry because he knows about those cards. He did like a cash.
I was just gonna
deal
ask you, are you gonna
trade.
do anything to see what's worth anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little research. Maybe Larry, because I know Larry watches. Maybe I'll contact you, Larry, and see if you can.
Yeah,
they're in the mail right now, so I had to ship them back to me. So I don't have.
Larry,
them
he's just contacting because he wants you to do something for him.
Well, what a yeah, we're not friends, Larry.
Why don't you see how Larry's doing, and then be like, you know what? Since I know you're doing good, Larry, why don't you help me out with these magic cards?
Well,
I think what was he doing on that post? Was he buying that or was he selling that Lotus?
From what I read, because he is my friend and I read his post, it was a trade/cash deal, and it was not his deal. It was a friend of his deal.
I know he's into those magic cards.
Yeah, he knows them really well. Yeah. I haven't reached out yet because I don't have the cards in my hand. He's been busy. That I had to ship them back. I found that.
That was my next question.
What else did I found? Some cool. I found a Smith & Wesson cherry wood grips that are like vintage, and they have the SW. Some of them, the exact same ones, have sold for $300. I paid $10 for them. He was firm $10, and I was like, you know what?
Some of those gum parts can.
Yeah, I can tell they're old. So this guy, he's like, my dad did extra. He was an extra in movies and stuff because he had this really sweet all leather belt with holsters on it, like old Western leather style. He claimed that his dad wore that as an extra in Django Unchained. Now, and he wanted $100 for the belt. If he would have been able to show me, like, to prove, like, here's my dad wearing it in that movie, man, I should have bought it. Right. But I didn't have enough time to go over that with him. And so because he had a lot of these old, like, Western things on his, and they were in really good shape. And part of, that's where I got that Smith & Wesson grips. He had most of his stuff was priced pretty high, so I didn't go too crazy with that. I don't think I found anything else that I
really you shipped everything back to yourself.
Well, we had some other stuff to ship back, so yeah, I put those in that box to be. I didn't find any clothes. Didn't buy any toys. Yeah, I mean, now that's kind of like
he's a true vintage.
Yeah,
guy
I'm trying to learn that. I don't think there's a lot of true vintage in Arizona, although I don't know. So. It was nice though. It was nice. It was a nice day. It was in the 70s. It was nice to get out with the sun out and be able to go to some yard sales again just for a couple hours. Take the guns out too? Actually, I did. My guns were. I was wearing a sleeveless shirt. Yeah, sleeveless shirts while in it. No.
So they make you get pumped up for yard sale season?
Oh yeah. I'm excited. Yeah, like now and then getting back and seeing my friend Jason, my true vintage friend Jason sent me a message. Hey, there's this barn sale on Thursday, so I'm gonna break out the old GoPro and I'm going. I'm hyped. I'm ready. But then it's gonna rain. It's supposed to rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain all week here. I think Friday it's supposed to clear up, but it was nice on Sunday. Yesterday too.
Yeah, yesterday was beautiful. We hit like 71 degrees here.
But I can't wait for yard sales. I'm ready.
Yeah, me too. Dan, I can't wait for you to can't wait for yard sales.
I mean, I get excited when I kind of see them, so maybe I don't know. Well, so this last weekend was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was half off at Goodwill.
Yeah.
I went Friday and Saturday, and I bought quite a bit of stuff. And I looked at their sales schedule, and this is the only sale they have. Once in a while, they might randomly throw in like a 40% off sale email sale this month.
Do they do the senior thing too? Do they have a senior?
Yeah, they have a senior. Senior sales next Tuesday, but I usually don't go to that. Once in a while, I've conned my mom into coming with me.
Why is that, Dan?
She can give me the discount.
Yeah, because Dan doesn't have this gray that I have that he.
I have a little bit.
Joe. Yeah. So I get the senior discount.
I got some on the side right here too.
Oh, you do have a little bit. There you go.
But
Just
I've
be
had
like,
that for. I've
and
had
I
that
see
for a
that
long
you're
time.
older, and just point at the gray hair. So I just go like
Yeah.
that, and they're like, oh.
But I always
Even
feel.
if you're
I mean,
not old enough, we feel bad for you, and we'll give you.
well, they should feel bad for me. They're like, look at this loser. Ugh. Look,
Hey, I'm
look
gonna
at his.
drive out there,
It looks
and we're
like he
gonna go
has
to yard
flat
sale then.
feet. Look at those small feet. Is that a
He's
woman's
wearing
thigh?
women's shoes.
Because I'm sure that's what everybody's doing is looking at your feet, Dan.
I mean, like, what are those Crocs?
What was the best thing you found in those 3 days of thrifting on Walmart sale?
Well, I'm trying to think of what I actually found.
Oh, that reminds me, Sonia, that Bible that I told you Sonia found.
Yeah.
Sold it for $150 while we were out there in Arizona.
Oh, really?
She was all proud of
So
herself.
when you're out in Arizona, did you keep your store? Your store was open?
Yeah, it was away mode. Yep, with the store open. Yeah, we had 20 sales. I was
So you
gone
had-
for 4 days and I had 20 sales, so that was pretty good.
So you just extended your handling time?
Yep. Yeah. I
Did
know
it
I
work?
don't do that because the new system like automatically sets it up for you. So I just did away mode, and then you click a box, and your items will stay active. And I always put a message, so I do like a message that I'll be away for this time. Anything bought during this time frame will ship on Monday morning at this
Where do you
time.
put the message?
It's an automated. You can click a box to have an automated message.
Yeah.
So if someone messages you, they automatically get that. So, I had a couple people. It's nice because it works. Because I had a couple people ask, "When is this going to ship?" I didn't have to respond to them because they got the automated message. They were cool with that. Like they saw that, hey, okay, I see it's going to ship Monday.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah. So I use the tools they provide. It works pretty good.
Did you
Why
say
don't
that
go
you
anywhere?
reach out to them anyway?
No, I actually did like a test just to see. I wanted to see that the automated was working, and the one person like kind of confirmed without saying it. Like they kind of confirmed.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, okay, Monday." Like I think it was their response or something like that. So
yeah. I forget what I forget what I do. I think I just extend my handling time. The last time I went on vacation, I don't remember if I just
you used to have to. It used to be so frustrating when you go on vacation because you used to have to. They had the vacation mode, right? I remember the first time I used it, I almost got in trouble because it was you thought you were setting yourself up. Oh, I'm on vacation mode, but you still had to change your handling time.
Yeah, I got burnt on the. I ended up sending out offer. I think that's what it was. I ended up sending out offers before I put it on vacation mode or something like that. And if somebody buys it,
you still get dinged. Yep.
Yeah. So I ended up messaging them and said, "Hey, listen, I'm away, out of town. I won't be back for a couple of days. Do you mind if I ship it on whatever day?" And they were fine with it, but I did get the ding from eBay because
you got to be careful with that. So if you're going away mode, make sure you don't send off offers out right before you do that.
Yeah, like 2 days before. Yeah, you have to stop that.
Offers are good for 48 hours, I believe. Yeah. So no, the new away mode I think is really good. I think it's a great tool. I like how, again, the big factor is how it reduces the days for you. Like, the shipping time on your items gets reduced every day that you're gone. And, so if you change let's say you change your handling on time to 5 days manually on let's say you're coming back on Friday. Well, on that Friday, your handling time is still 5 days, right? So you're still not shipping till next Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. Where with the new away mode, if you set it to where you're going to be back on Monday, on Friday, your handling time is back to your normal handling time. Like it's just back to 1 day or whatever you have because the away mode works that way. So I think it's a lot better to do it that way. There's no reason to still have my handling time at 5 days on my last day of being gone.
Right.
So I like that tool. Anyways. So yeah, it was good sales for being gone. I mean, I felt like it was like a little boost. Maybe I need to do that more often.
How about you, Dan? Any good sales?
I sold my best sale. Oh my gosh, my best sale was Woolrich made in the USA Woolrich flannel, like a wool flannel. I think
Yeah.
it was wool. I put it as wool. Somebody
Wool
cut out
rich,
the
nothing else.
the material tag on it. But it didn't. It felt like it was wool, but I was a little nervous. And then Woolrich, I don't know. I've always heard that it was better, like the actual wool stuff was better because now a lot of their stuff's like cotton, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really
Oh,
go.
really?
It doesn't really go for much. But I was like, first time I found it's a made in the USA. It felt like wool, so I said it was a wool, but I ended up selling it for $40. I think it was my best sale. I think it was my best sale.
My find
I-
with Woolrich is the uglier the better. If that
Oh, really?
like ugly pattern. I mean, I use ugly and probably in the wrong way. Like, but just like to me, it's like ugly patterns
Like tacky,
seem to sell better when it's
loud. Oh, I
Yeah,
sold a pair of
there you go.
loudmouth golf shorts.
Oh yeah, I haven't
Or,
found them in a while, man.
I found two
Loudmouth,
pairs.
I've never even heard of that.
Really?
You,
Oh,
you would
yeah,
know it if you've seen it. It's
Yeah.
So so it makes sense. They match the name. Like
they're
just
all kinds of
Just-
crazy designs. And
what's a design that you would see on a loud? I need to look this up. Like,
it reminds me of like whenever I see it, it reminds me of like a stained glass type thing. I mean, it's
oh,
They have
totally
all
different
kinds.
colors.
so
Totally.
something that just pops and stands
It
out.
made it a long time before I started.
Now I'm looking at
doing
loudmouth golf shorts.
They
Yeah,
make
that's
pants.
not how you
and
spell
I think
loud,
They make
Jimmy.
shirts and
Oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's like it's like
I sold
stained,
these
like
these were $30. I
color
sold them
block.
for.
Those are sweet, man.
They're called a Dutch treat. I use Google search and you can find it on their
Oh, yeah,
website.
these
The
are-
exact
I've
design.
never seen these before. I like it. Look at this one. It's like a Miami University with the checkered plaid. That's
Yeah, they have a
sweet.
bunch of really cool ones. I think I've sold a pair before and they weren't crazy.
These
they
one
weren't-
looks like that Zubaz tiger print. Yeah, that's cool. All
Here's
right, I'm gonna
here's
keep an eye
another
out.
pair. I have.
Ooh,
These
you have
are-
those too?
These are a Masters.
Oh yeah.
They're called Green Floral Augusta Magic, and I saw people listing them I saw Google image search them, and I saw people were listing them as Augusta Green or something, and I was
Oh, that's
curious.
good, yeah.
I was scared if I could actually call it that because it felt like I was like I don't want to represent Augusta, but when I went back and looked at Google search again, it was on Loudmouth's actual website that they had them as that, it listed as that. So
yeah, I just found a Master's hat new with the tags on it at the flea market over the weekend. But
Is it older or is it modern?
It's probably a modern one. It has a tag on it with barcode. So, but I don't know. The ones I see online, they say Masters on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this says Augusta National, and the tag says Augusta National inside. So I don't know if it's.
It might be right at the golf shop. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I don't know if it's necessarily a Masters thing, but it's on that Masters.
it looks like the Masters.
Yeah,
stuff.
it looks like
It's that time though, guys. It's that
Yeah.
time.
I know. I
Guys,
found
it's
a.
cool.
I should say. So the best. That might be the best thing I did find this weekend, just because of the timing. I took pictures of it. It's a Masters. It's called Masters Tech. It's like a quarter zip,
Mhm.
long sleeve kind of like whatever shirt type thing.
Mhm.
And I picked it up, and it looks like I think. I looked at it the other day. I was gonna list. I fell asleep listing twice this week. Like
How do you
I use
fall
it-
asleep listening?
because I've been I fell asleep last night after dinner because I knew I had a busy day yesterday because I'm doing I did the reseller draft on Monday night, and then today I knew we were doing this today, and then I got something to do like right when we finish recording, and then I have I'm doing a whatnot show today.
Oh, you
And-
are.
Oh
yeah,
That's breaking news.
and
Are you on that the raid train?
yeah,
thing?
I used to do
Okay.
the garage sale. Oh, I used to do the garage sale raid train,
Yep.
and I gave it all up.
You gave it up. What
I
for
gave
this?
it up. I gave it up, and then so last week, so yeah, for this. Well, because I know I've said it. I don't know how many, because I haven't done it's
Well,
probably 2 months, so probably 8 episodes. I keep saying
we got some listeners, so hold on. We got some real quick. We got some listeners, so real quick. When are you doing this? So everybody go to Dan's whatnot.
Well, this comes out tomorrow, and the whatnot show would have already happened.
Oh, it already happened.
Yeah, it's today. It's
My
this
bad. So
afternoon.
go back in time
Tuesday.
and watch.
Tuesday. It's okay.
Well, maybe
It's fine.
Dan, did you put anything out on your Instagram? Oh, my Instagram's down.
No,
so-
not no. What? No. So like I was when I was at the surprise party this last weekend, I was bragging about how I never oversleep. I'm always up at this time, but I did the draft last night, and I woke up and I had to finish a few listings, and I had to finish. I haven't even finished doing my listing for the Whatnot show today, and then it started like I could not go to sleep, and I wasn't feeling well, and then I took NyQuil, so I ended up sleeping till like 7:45 today, which I don't ever do. Like I don't like last week I slept till like 6 o'clock in the morning one day, and I don't ever remember. I mean, it's like 7:45 today is when I woke up, and then we're recording earlier today because I got something to do when we get done with this. I have Dodger right now. He's moving. I should have. So I had to take him for a walk, and then I come home and I don't feel well, so I don't remember what was I talking about.
You were falling asleep. Now,
Oh, yeah.
falling asleep listening, because with the self-diagnosed sleep apnea, like if I fall asleep in a chair, it's ugly. Like the whole time.
Oh, well, I talked about this on the draft last night because they're like, "How did you do that?" I list in my bed, like I lay in my bed and I list. This is back from
that could lead to falling asleep while listening.
I mean, I'm kind of in tune with it, but my old dog, Oscar, he used to, he like, I would list in my bed, and then he would lay on on top of my head, like he would lay up there, like where he liked to sit. So if I sat I would sit out on the couch, but then he would like lay up on my neck, and that would bother my neck. So I was just like lay in my bed. And
that's trying to think of how that goes. Laying in your, like, do you lay on your back and hold the phone up here?
I might lay on my side. I do a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
I've made that
did a great job. This is a great job to do.
Yeah, I've made that mistake listening like this, and the next thing you know, you drop the phone.
Yeah, fall asleep in the phone.
Yeah. I woke up with my phone in my hand. I was like on my side, and I woke up with that. And I did that after dinner last night.
That's how your Facebook gets hacked, folks.
After dinner last night, I was listening, and I could feel myself getting tired. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall asleep. It was like 6 o'clock. I'm like, I'm not gonna fall asleep right now. And I woke up with it was like 10 till 8. I was supposed to be on the show started. The draft started at 8, so I was racing because I had to take Dodger outside. I was racing. I barely made it to that in time, and then it's just been a
little bit of code red. That's why, because I messaged and you were Joe. Then Joe was like, "I think he's on the draft tonight."
Yeah. Then I do a draft tomorrow. I'm on. Like everyone likes to hear my list, I guess.
What draft tomorrow?
Vintage Sports Flips. Keith, they do that. He does that live show where they really cool, really good stuff. Sports memorabilia stuff that they talk about, and they're doing. But they in between like showing, they have different segments that they do. It's a really good show. Then they like do picks and stuff. So he asked, he's gonna start having guests on. So of course he wanted me to be the first guest.
Of course.
So he asked me to come on, and it's comedy movies, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Ooh, Dumb and Dumber.
Nah, I don't want to give away my picks.
Yeah, don't give away your picks. Apparently that's against the rules. You can get in trouble for doing that.
Yeah, it's cut through. It could be cut through. Keith messaged me today because they do sales of the week, and he'll like sell like not little, but it'll be some little thing. It doesn't really look like it's much, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I sold it for $400." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And then Andy's his buddy who does he's like, well, they go back and forth on who's the king of pennants, but he'll have good sales too. And he's like, well, it only sold for $40, and so Keith messaged me today. He's like, "You have a sale of the week you want to give?" And I'm like, "Oh my god,
Woolrich."
Yeah, you want to know about my Woolrich or? And then like the people that watch they're all sports memorabilia. Like, yeah, I don't care about Woolrich, but that's all I got.
Does he sell all kinds of stuff, or is it mainly sporting memorabilia?
I think it's all mostly like sports memorabilia, like stuff like like vintage hats and stuff like that. And
that's fun.
He'll talk about like he knows. It seems like he knows a ton. Like
that helps for sure. Like I just don't know how I don't feel like I could find enough. I'd be interested to see how he sources, like what, because you can't just go to thrifts and yard sales and you can't. I don't think you could do it full time. Like make a full time without having other avenues to source, like knowing other ways to get your hands on that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, he rented out Paul Philly Flipper's old warehouse in Philly.
Oh,
That's where
really?
he moved into.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I'd be kind of interested in like, I mean, I don't know.
Auctions and yeah, he probably does auctions.
Well, I
and
know he talks about like he'll have a. I mean, he does. I mean, some of the stories he has, he does like it's been some really cool stuff that he's done. And I know he said he has a website that people will contact him about collections
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff,
that's smart.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I don't know. Like,
Man, that goes a long way, and that's something I'm going to work on this year.
was
Is just
building a website.
no more along the lines of asking and like getting the word out there that I buy stuff.
So
Like
how are you
I'll
gonna do
buy
that?
your
Because I keep on
toys. I'll
wanting to do
buy.
that.
Yeah, it's a
it's
good
just like
idea.
just trying to tell as many people as you can what you do. There are,
I'm thinking about making a business card that I can hand out. Like, hey, here with with my contact information and like saying that I buy vintage toys, clothes, whatever. Whatever it says.
Well, I
I
had
haven't
that.
determined that yet. What it'll say, but it'll be
I've
along
had
those
that
lines.
idea a few times for because I really do enjoy selling like clothing. Um, it's
Yeah.
just easy to process, and it's just I just think it's I like it.
Right.
And but it's trying to find stuff, especially when you go to the thrift stores and they're kind of more expensive. Which on top of it, I feel I don't know. I'm hoping. I used to get angry, not angry, but I would just like not. I would drive by a lot of garage sales, but I wasn't looking for clothes, and I used to always see clothes. So now I'm like hoping when I go out garage selling, I'm gonna find some like clothes and
I
like
think you're gonna do good, man. I see.
you'll
Now
see
it's all about the
and
pricing, but you'll come across
right.
that. I mean, I come across them all the time, and it's just stuff that I'm like, man, if I were bigger into clothes, I'd be buying a lot of this stuff. I just don't. I'm not big into the the name brand stuff. I'm more into the vintage, but I see I see it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so
yeah, but
And shoes too, man.
just
Shoes.
getting your name out there is the biggest thing. You know what I mean? You get a call, or I know a guy that does it with records, vinyl records, and he
Yeah.
says the majority of the calls that he gets are just already picked over.
Right.
Albums that weren't stored right, or they're just not worth anything. But he says it makes it all worthwhile when somebody calls you up and they have that collection of,
oh,
Yeah.
I was
know
just
what I
gonna say
mean?
that's the biggest worry about is to like say because I saw a video last week. It was Phoenix Resell. It was I don't know how old the video was, but he was like interviewing someone who they opened up a video game store and they just started during like the pandemic and the guy said he just went on Twitter. He had like a big following on Twitter and just like I'm gonna buy video games and people started. He's like I just started getting all these messages to buy stuff and like
Yep.
the last few years it's been like 2 years and I still haven't done it was because I always hear that like just tell people like say put out like a thing on Facebook or something like that. But I'm kind of I'm nervous. I mean I'm telling you I'm nervous to go to
Yeah.
garage sale. So I'm nervous to because in my head if I put something out on like Facebook Marketplace. I'll buy your collection of this. Like people are just gonna attack you and be like, "Oh, you're a scum of the earth. You're such a jerk." So I was like, I'm gonna start with my friends. Like I was gonna start, which they can still
there
do
you go.
that.
Go
They
out and
might
have your
still do that
friends
to me
calling you
too.
the scum of the earth.
Yeah.
They might still do that. But like I'm gonna post on. I'm like maybe I should just post on my Facebook like I'm buying clothes like and then just contact like
Well, that's where
just
you're 100% right. That's where you start. Let all your friends and family kind of know what you do and see. Sonia would reach out, like she would just, like you said, put on Facebook, hey, any friends and family, if you're thinking about like so spring cleaning's coming up. If you're doing any spring cleaning and you're planning on donating stuff, we just said, hey, if you're planning on donating it, we'll come and pick it up and take it for you.
yeah. So
And then we'll we would go through it and then take it to the thrift for them.
So I have a few people who they know what I do. So they'll if they have stuff to get rid of, they'll give me
Yeah,
and they'll get rid of it or but at the same time though, I get nervous because I did have someone who knew what I did. And gosh, it's probably been I made a video on it. He was getting rid of stuff and he had huge video game collection and all kinds of stuff and um I don't know anything about this stuff. This might have been 2020. It could have been 2021, something like that. And he messaged me, and I was like, okay. So he sent me what he had, and I went and I bought stuff, and it was like he wanted me to tell him how much it cost. So I was like having to send him. I was showing him like what it was worth on eBay, and then he would like kind of come back at me like, no, it's worth this, and we did this back and forth, and I bought stuff, and I did okay. I lost out on some stuff, but some stuff I did okay. And then I had someone else who was a mutual friend who watched my videos, and then I eventually I paid up for stuff, but I found this. He wanted to itemize what I was buying. Like if he had a video game and he knew it was like it was some video game. It was oh god, I wish I knew the name of it. Anyway, it was like he's like, I have to get $80 for this. I'm like, all right, I'll pay you $80. And I saw it sold for like $100 and some, like 150 or 100. I ended up like selling it on Amazon or something for like $170. And then like my mutual friend like saw that, and then like that guy found then he was like mad at me because, well, I thought you were only going to sell it for like 150, but you sold it for 170. And it was like this, it was just such a mess. And then like over like a year later, he came into like money problems, and he was coming back at me wanting more money from me because he's like, well, you made because I made a video on it, and he's like, you made all this money from my video, and I like screenshot him like, I made like 3 cents off your video. Like I'm like, what, are you serious? And it was like this big, and he was just calling me names. He was trying to get me to buy something else from him. He was trying
to watch the podcast.
No, I don't know. Cause like, I think I think stuff happened where it was like, he probably went down this dark road of things. I ended up blocking him. Like I blocked him because I became like a little nervous because it was just, he was so angry at me. I'm like, then I get nervous. I'm like, I don't want to because I told like, I'm going to tell you I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay you what it's worth. Like, but some people have that mindset. If they know that you're like going to flip it, they're like, oh, you're going to flip it. And so I want, this is what I want.
Yeah.
For it.
I guess I could get messy that way with friends. Like I'm more or less, I did some things like Jimmy says is if people already made their minds up of that they're going to donate it or whatever, let me look at it first. And then,
I tell
see
people
what's
that
there or whatever. You know what I mean? I can't remember if I ever bought something from like somebody that I actually knew, like a friend and then turned around and sold it on, because I guess that could be messy if they're looking.
Well, that would be my number one concern about like making a business card or putting my phone number out there for the general public to call me with stuff that they have. Because I think the 2 hardest parts would be, first of all, telling people that what they have isn't the one of the number of things we know is people overvalue their stuff. They have stuff that they think is worth a lot of money, and you almost become that person that tells them, sorry, this stuff that you have isn't worth a lot of money. And then they almost want to like argue with you, and you're like, okay, well, that's fine. You can think that. I'm not buying it from you because it's not worth a lot of money.
The record guy that I know that does that or whatever, some people will bring them, like he'll occasionally buy like CDs and cassettes also, but mainly he does is the vinyl records or whatever. But like if somebody does bring them the CDs or even the vinyl records that he has dealt with before, he doesn't want to hurt their feelings by telling them like, no, it's not. He just says, listen, right now I have too much of this.
Yeah, so
or I have too much of that, or it doesn't fit into my right now. I don't have room for that in my business right now. Well,
What about the person that comes up and they know what they have and they do have good stuff and they want market value? Like that's another thing that you'll have to deal with. Whether you unless you put it in your listing somehow that, I don't give, like, how do you say that in your listing that I don't give full market value? And if you don't put that in your listing, people are going to come to you and be like, hey, will you buy my collection? This one's worth 100. I want 100, Like that's the kind of stuff you have to figure out how to deal with.
Maybe just put something out there that you're looking for inventory for your online business.
Totally honest, like, hey, it's quick cash. I just can't give you retail. I'm a reseller. I'm going to give you cash money right now, and then I'm going to flip it into. I'm going to flip it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like you'd have to be honest about that.
it always goes back to you're also taking the risk too, especially when it comes to certain items, electronics, video
video games for
games.
sure. Yeah,
You know,
they work or not.
you're the one that's taking the risk of whether it's going to be working or not, or condition of condition comes down to a lot of things. If you're into sports cards or whatever, or video games, they still have to be in working condition. Scratches on the back and all this other stuff. So I mean, explaining that to them, and then I guess when it comes down to it, if you can't come to an agreement, you just can't come to an agreement with it.
And then they call you names.
Yeah, I just can't. That's what Dan told. That story that you just told Dan. That's wild. Like, you guys had a deal, right? Like, it was a deal.
Yeah, it was like a year later. I was looking up it was so much longer ago. It was some projector he was trying to sell me, and he had looked up on it was retail brand new on like newegg.com. I don't know if you've heard of that site before.
Yeah.
It was like $1,600, and then
I looked it up, computer parts and stuff, right?
I looked it up on I looked it up. I had looked it up on eBay, and they were listed selling for listed was like 900, and then like sold around 600 or 500 and 600. And I was like, dude, and then he told me, I was like showing him kind of Jedi magic because he didn't understand solds. Like, he didn't understand. That's the worst part, is people who they come to you and they think you know how to, they don't know. And then I feel like they think I'm going to try to like swindle them out of something, which I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. But like then I feel guilty. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll give you $600 for this. I'm gonna sell it for $400.
No,
I'm
don't
gonna
do
lose
it, Dan.
$200. You know what I'm saying? And then it turned into like, you owe me, and like, man, it was one of those like people that
were there any like warning signs or red flags that made that? No, I don't think you did. I mean, it's just like, I would have been like, man, was there anything that told you that he was gonna be that way? Like, did you have any idea?
Well, if I
possible that he was that.
I knew him for we worked together in just like we had when he didn't want to get rid of a lot of stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. Like, I don't like, he had all this stuff, like he didn't want to get rid of stuff, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. And then it's like, okay, so I thought, I was like, yeah, next time you want to. So I was pretty easy on buying stuff from him, and like, it was just like, I think he kind of jealous. I'm like, and I tell every time someone talks to me, because I rather than just sell it yourself then.
Right.
And I kept on like, you could sell this you could sell this stuff super fast, but a lot of people, they don't want to do it. Like, I was just talking when I was a little nervous when I was at that surprise party, because it was some people that I used to work with, and like, oh, what are you doing? And I was kind of telling them. Some of the people knew that because I was reselling when I worked there, and then there's other people that I don't really know them, and I was like, kind of like, it was like, I was nervous how they're gonna react to like what I do. If it was like, I'm not like a stripper, I'm like, I'm a reseller, you know. And
wait, what are you talking about?
So I was telling what I do, and I don't.
Oh, wait a second. It was that kind of surprise party, huh?
No,
Dan was the paid stripper.
No,
one of those parties, Dan.
Yeah, no, know what Dan.
No, but it was just like, you go and you tell you're someone, someone's gonna ask you like what you've been up to or something like that. And
did you pop out a cake?
No.
Did you pop up?
No. Whatever. I don't remember. What was I saying?
But I think you were talking about like some people not. But I think the biggest thing for people that don't understand it is they just think, number one is not understanding the sold. You know what I mean? They look something up on eBay, they see those prices on it, and they just think that. But also is you're seeing something that sold for $100. You're not getting $100. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not getting $100 in your pocket after fees and like, people don't even take that into mind. They're consider that when it comes to anything.
Yeah.
When I explained to my friends and family now about, because it used to frustrate me that people say, well, you're not looking at the sold comps. You're not like, yeah, I know that. I know I'm not. I know you got to look at the sold comps. I've changed it to when I explain to my friends and family like how eBay works, like, because there's the false there's false listings out there of like the Black Diamond VHSs. So I'll always find an item, like, I'll say, you see this Angry Bird doll? I can take this and put it on eBay for $80 anytime I want. I can do that and put it for sale for $80. Doesn't mean it's worth $80. Doesn't mean anybody's gonna buy it for $80. So that's why you have to look at the solds, because anybody can take any item and put it
Right.
on eBay and list it for any dollar amount that they want. That is not accurate. You have to look. So I try to make them understand why you have to look at the solds, because I always felt like you said, like it doesn't quite register what you're saying to them when you say check the solds.
And a lot of the go ahead.
I just think it comes down to that. For me, I just rather not do business with people that family or friends,
Yeah.
unless they are 100% okay with getting rid of it. Look, you're getting rid of it. You're taking it to the thrift store. You're throwing it out or whatever. I'll take it at that point. But to actually get into negotiations with somebody that, that might not quite understand the whole thing, if I'm giving you $50 for it and I'm selling it for $150, I'm not making $100. You know what I mean? There's not $100 profit there, and to explain that to somebody is the hardest thing to
because then if they find out you crushed it, they might not be mad, but they're gonna be a little jealous. I had my friend's dog. I was watching my friend's dog this summer, and when he came and picked him up, he'll give me he knows what I do. And he'll like, oh, I had this stuff. He'll give me stuff, and a lot of times it's not really worth anything, which is I'm okay with. And he's like, I don't think it might not be worth anything. There's some DVDs and stuff like that. It really wasn't worth anything. And he's like, I got this thing for you too. And it was like this huge Disney Up Funko Pop, like it was a house with the balloons.
Oh,
it was huge.
That was a good movie too.
I was like, oh, I'm like I'm like, you don't want this? He's like, no. I'm like, are you sure? Like, this is worth money. Like, I don't know anything. Like, I'm not a good Funko seller. Like, I always think Funko Pops always look like they're worth money, but like they're just I'm like, this has to be worth money. They're like, yeah, that's fine. I appreciate you watching my dog and stuff. He's like, I'm like, okay, are you sure? And I didn't know what it was worth, but I took it and I came inside and I found it, listed it, and I sold it within like a week. And I sold it for like $125. And I'm like, holy crap! If this guy knew I sold this for $125, he's probably gonna be mad at me. He's gonna be mad at me.
That's your business opportunity. Dog sitting for Funko Pops.
There you go.
You just
that doesn't sound like a very good.
Yeah, it's got to be the right Funko Pop. Yeah, I have the bird's name was Kevin from that movie, and I have a Kevin mask that I just found at the bins, and it's like this really tall bird head mask that I found. That stuff from Up to we found this at the bins. I don't know if Sonia found it or if I found it. Do you guys know about lounge fly backpacks?
Yeah.
Bolo. And so we found the kid. What's the kid's name from Up? We found his a lounge fly.
Is it
Russell?
I don't know.
I think that sounds right. We found his backpack, a lounge fly one at the bins, and it sold for like $60.
Oh, you must not. You catch up with. Well, I don't know if because Dave ADH Dave was like obsessed with buying lounge flies. Probably
I did not know that.
Might almost been a year ago now. Like he kept on buying them on Whatnot.
Okay.
I saw lounge fly out this weekend.
So did I. What was yours?
Store. No, I didn't. It was on someone's back.
You found it.
You ever look at I always look to see what people are like. Yeah, you showed us you sent a picture of someone's shoes. But no, this guy's cuffs. I thought you were showing us some dad shoes or something. But I'll look to see. I'll notice because I think it's probably in my head. I'm like, oh, I've seen Loungefly does pretty good, and I see this person at their store and they got a Loungefly bag on. I don't remember what it was.
I just sold from one of the Ghostbusters Loungefly. I don't remember which Ghostbuster because that movie's coming out.
I've never seen it. I mean, I've seen Loungefly, but I never found one out.
So this was actually a yard sale, and it was a really good yard sale. She had a complete. We sold from that sale. We got a complete Ghostbuster costume, and she had like a realistic the
backpack thing,
the photon pad, whatever it's called. Yeah, like it was a realistic cosplay one that sold for like $150.
They're like, what did you pay for that?
Like literally like $20 for everything.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was one of the better sales we went to here in Ohio, and we just sold there. So in that deal was this Peter Venkman Loungefly backpack. For those of you listening, you won't be able to see this, but this Loungefly Peter Venkman backpack.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
$100.
Nice. And you got it at that sale?
That was part of that lot that we bought.
And you bought everything for like $20?
Yeah, it was what
Why would
the
they get-
the Ghostbuster stuff was like $20 for all of it.
Why
Yeah.
would they get rid of that? Like they know what they paid for it. Why would they get
That
rid of
sale
that?
was a really good sale, and there was a lot of people there. And I know I don't remember exactly what all I got, but I know I got a lot of good stuff from that sale.
It's just
And
crazy. Like how
I
do
just
they?
think people just want to get rid like
And the
you
thing
get-
about it is that stuff was walked past. Like that was not the first thing
Yeah.
I found at that sale. Like it was out. I remember being out on the driveway with the costume and the backpacks, the 2 backpacks, and it said $20 for all of it. And it was like later on after we had picked the sale over that I saw that out there. And that,
This is
you know,
crazy.
just-
They say no. Like what did they pay for that retail?
oh yeah, that
Probably
backpack
$100, right?
easily, yeah.
It was
That
good. It was in good condition and everything.
yeah, it had button, it lit up and everything.
I guess I am missing out not going to garage sales.
I've been telling you that
You
for how
know-
many years now, Dan.
I know.
It's just one of those, there's when you start to know the kind of people you want to buy from at yard sales, and
The
that
suckers.
fell under the category of they were a little bit well off, and it was
Oh.
just like they were cleaning out, and they just kind of wanted the stuff gone, like they didn't need it anymore. She didn't
Yeah,
have
They're
any
the
use
best-
for it, and she just
they're
like
the best
trying to get
sales
a
to
little
go to.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, she had it already priced. I didn't even negotiate. I was like, $20, I'll take it all. Yeah, like, no, there's no need to talk you down. Like, here you go. So there was that. So, because we, as resellers and people that go to yard sales, you're always looking for the, like, all right, this one, they just have no idea what they have and their prices are really good. This one, they have good stuff, but they just want it gone. Then obviously you've run into the ones where they know what they have and they have it priced really high, so you don't spend a lot of time at those ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, especially when you walk up and you see the printout from a eBay printout.
But
on
those
the-
ones are still worth spending. Yeah, those ones are terrible. But like if it's priced high, but if it's stuff that you can get into a little negotiation and maybe still because know the product that they're selling really well. Like it's a niche that really well. You can get into negotiation and make some money and still spend up but make some money.
Yeah.
But that's what's fun to me. That's what's fun about it, right? Like that's why I love, man. When you walk up to that 1 yard sale that's going to be full of the stuff that really well, and you start seeing those $1 and $2 price tags on it, you're just gonna be having the time. I mean, as a reseller, having the time of your life. Like that's just so much fun. Like that's literally what we live for, right? Like, man, as a reseller, like coming up to that sale and everything's what and it's priced really well.
I get anxious thinking about it.
Why?
I
So
don't
that
know.
doesn't sound fun to you.
It does a little bit, but then I'm gonna be like worried
does a
about
little
like,
bit.
oh, if I buy all this stuff, are they gonna tell me that? Oh no, now it's $5 they're gonna
No.
raise the price on me
90% of the time when you buy a bunch of stuff and it's priced really well, and they add it up and it comes like 32, they'll be, how about 30? Oh, okay. Like that's how it goes down. It
Oh,
doesn't-
I'd be like
don't go,
35.
32.
I'll give you
Huh?
40.
I'll give you
Yeah,
60.
Dan will be like, no, I'll give you more. Yeah. Come on. No, Dan. Like
You'll be all right,
want that
Dan.
stuff gone. They want that stuff gone. They
There's
don't
a
want to
reason
bring
why
it back.
there's a reason why they have the yard sales, and a lot of the people that have the yard sales aren't in it to make money. They're in it
That's it.
just
I'm
getting
driving
rid
out
of.
there this summer, Dan, and we're going to
Yeah.
yard sales. I'm driving you around to yard sales. And we're gonna make videos of you picking.
That's the way I feel with like some of the community yard sales. The community yard sales are just people want to get rid of the stuff, number one, and number two, they want to participate in what their community is doing. You know what I mean? So they just get a bunch of crap out of the garage or the attic and they put it out there and they clean their kids' clothes out, or even their own clothes. They're cleaning the drawers out to make room for new stuff that they want to buy. And
All right.
But kids, remember this, kids. Because again, I went to like 2 hours worth of sales. I don't know how many sales I went to on Friday, but I only bought things from 3 sales. So I went to a lot of sales where I didn't buy anything. That is part of the resale yard sale picture. Is you will go to a lot without buying stuff. That's a fact. But when they do hit and you come up to that one that has good stuff, it's better than any thrift store. It's better than for me. It's better than any thrift store or anything at a state sale or anything when it's priced well and it's good stuff.
Yeah,
But
I
you-
Oh,
agree.
Salvation Army's 50% off this weekend.
Ooh, what?
Oh, I gotta remember that.
We have a salvo, and I've done good there. But man, their prices are high.
The Salvation Army here is every Wednesday is half price.
Every
I need to
Wednesday.
find
Every
out when our
Wednesday.
half price one is. Then I
So
bet you
Every
ours-
color on Wednesdays half price.
So
What-
when I went to the sale this weekend for Goodwill, one of the Goodwills is near the Salvation Army I go to. So I'm like, I have to stop here because I was like, because they always have a half off and a 25% off tag. So let me just see what they have. And I spent close to an hour there, but I was trying to be picky. I picked up a lot of half off stuff just because Goodwill was half off already.
Mhm.
And when I was leaving, good thing I did though, because she's like, they don't really advertise it very often. She's like, next Saturday is half off. I'm like, oh, okay. So of clothes, only clothes.
Put it in your phone.
Okay, I'm gonna write it down. I don't know.
the Salvation Army near me. I don't like going, and that's probably just me being ridiculous because their price of their toys are really high. Like it's actually kind of ridiculous how high they price their toys, but their clothing is priced really well. So maybe I need to just spend more time looking at the clothing.
I don't know if I talked about it on here. The last few times I've gone there, I didn't have one this time. I've taken a bag of stuff to donate, and they had a plush I saw that I had donated that I found at the bin at the bins.
Yeah,
And I donated. They had it priced for like $5, and it was like a
Yeah.
bear with like I'm like, that's not really worth. I don't think that's worth $5.
I wonder why. Mine, man, I don't even really. I go over to the toys, and I just look for something that they missed. Like I'm looking for rare vintage, because all their toys are priced so high at the one by us.
Sneakers
Oh,
are the
wow.
biggest thing that are priced high at at the Salvation Army near
Okay.
me. Their clothes are pretty decent, but sneakers or any kind of shoes, dress shoes or whatever, they're always priced high.
Man, I'll never forget the best thing I found at our Salvation Army by here. Ooh, are those on clouds?
No, these are.
Right.
You can't if you're listening on Apple.
I mean, Kohan.
Yeah, these are Kohan. They're 0 grands. I got these there. They were $10, I think. But I found these pairs. I found these
I've never
before.
seen anything like that. Why is there like 2 levels to it?
Well, it's like this is a sole. This is a midsole right here, and then this is a shoe.
Oh, okay.
And it's got like a fox fur in it.
Yeah.
But it sells for. I haven't looked up. I sold these a few months ago. They didn't have this fox fur in it, but I sold them for like $40 a piece. So I
Nice.
grabbed those. And
How many pairs did you find? Did you say?
this time this one, but the first time I ever found them, I found 2. They didn't have this fur in it. They were just regular, like they look like loafer Crocs. If you're just listening.
But they also have like that on cloud look to it. Like
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
said,
That's what-
the sole looks a little bit like that.
And then I found it's like I love Crocs. Crocs are like one of my favorite things.
Man, they look
But
like
this
Crocs
is a pair
on
of Crocs,
steroids.
these are like sandals.
They are have you seen those Crocs they call off-roads? They have there's a pair of Crocs that are called off-road. And they have like this rugged terrain look to them. Yeah,
but like usually Crocs that aren't like regular clogs, they you always look those up. And these are like $30 too for this.
Crocs,
It's like a regular
Crocs.
sandal. And Crocs are so easy to just clean up. These actually have some leather on them, so they weren't as easy, but they were, they're but always the Crocs that don't have just the clog look to them. But I found those and a few other pairs.
That was
of
that
shoes.
Salvation Army then.
Yeah, on that day. So I paid regular price for those, but those are both good. And I think those are actually expensive. The Crocs were $15, but with everything else I bought half off. So then I did when I said I'm doing a whatnot show today, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take advantage because I don't remember if I finished talking about it. So I used to do that garage sale Ray Train, and then it kind of stopped right before the holidays. And then Paul Philly Flipper brought it back. So last week I was cleaning out in here, getting ready for the sale this week, and he messaged me and asked me if I was like, "Oh, you interested in doing it?" I'm like, honestly, I had stuff that I was like, I've just been like kind of hanging around on here, and I was like looking at it. I'm like, I should really either just donate this or like maybe I should just try a whatnot show. It's like plush and stuff that I just not interested in. It's not really what I'm selling. So I was like, yeah, I could try it again. I'll try it again. But then it got me thinking, like, all right, I'm gonna have people come to my show today, and then I was like, let me try my clothing store. So when I was sourcing this weekend, I was looking, I was finding other stuff that was they had it priced cheap that I was like, I don't really want to list on eBay, but I'll try to do it on my Whatnot again. So I'm doing a Whatnot show next, I think Wednesday or Thursday, of clothing. So I was looking for that stuff. But anyway, my buy cost this weekend was for stuff that on eBay was $687 for those. So those shoes I do average buy cost. So I paid $15 at the time, but after I take everything that I'm buying, it was $687. So I'm happy with that. That's good. That's not bad.
Not bad.
But it'd be better I think at a garage sale, right?
Yeah. Then I have an update on my Tom's shoe buy.
I had that down. Yeah, I had that down. I was gonna ask you.
So I listed.
Does Jimmy know? Does Jimmy know about your Tom's buy?
I was listening to it. I don't remember exactly. I listened to the podcast. I don't remember exactly.
So I bought 19 pair. Lauren ended up keeping a pair, and I listed the other 18. And since last week, I sold one pair for $30.
That's pretty good.
So I'll have Tom's shoes in my store for the next.
What do you
5
have
years.
into them?
$80.
Okay.
For 18 pairs.
Oh, 19 pairs that I bought. Yeah, so it's a little over $4 a piece. So.
Yeah. So even if you ended up getting $20 a pair in the end, or even $15, you would make something, right?
Yeah.
That'd be okay. I mean, because you only had what I think you just said, but I wasn't paying attention. Like $4 something a piece in them.
A little over $4. I think it came to. Let me see what it.
I mean, that's not bad.
And since the first pair sold for $30, you're already working your way back to profit
like
really
quickly.
quickly.
3 pairs, and you've just about you've made your money back, right?
Yeah, I'm going to give it about a month.
You sell some more. I mean, because it's a springtime shoe, right?
Yeah, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
unless you're the Christmas pair. Unless Christmas in July.
Well, there's a Christmas pair, there's a Halloween pair, some Candyland.
So they have like cool themes to them?
Yeah, some of them are plain ones. Some of them are just plain ones, but there's
those are the ones that you'll get. Yeah. Which ones did you sell for $30? Were they good theme or
no? They were called Golden Bumblebee. They just had a bunch of bees on them.
That's
cool. Like I said,
springtime.
Yeah, Candyland. They're My Little Pony. There's
are they actually? They're actually My Little Pony. They're actually Candyland.
Yeah, they got a
trademark.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So yeah, you telling me that's.
So you have Candyland in the listing,
like good themed shoes.
Yeah. Well,
you'll sell those.
Yeah.
But you didn't have any women's size 10s, though, right?
No, they're all women's size 7. and one pair of 7.5.
I think I still have these shoes, but the weirdest like brand name shoes that had like a theme to them, I found some Arizona iced tea Adidas. And really? It looks like an Arizona iced tea can.
Really?
I think I still have them. I should look for them for next week.
I just saw something about
Arizona iced tea can.
Adidas is doing a thing with is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles coming out with a new movie, or is there an anniversary coming up, or
no, not that I know of.
I just remember the Adidas, the shell tops, regular shell tops. Oh, Adidas.
Yeah.
They're making the shell tops actually look like a turtle shell.
Hey, did that Adidas jacket the guy ever pay for that jacket? Did you ever...
Yeah, and it was authenticated. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was $200. That was a good one.
Nice. And you didn't think he was gonna pay?
No, I didn't.
Did you send him an apology?
I didn't. If you are listening to this, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. So like last week, I was talking about I had mixed up those shoe sizes, and I was like convinced it was a viewer. It was a viewer. It was a Matt bearded poke tuber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't know if you got to that part, Jimmy. I mislabeled a couple pairs of shoes in my store, and now I'm nervous that all my shoes are messed up. Jimmy's so disgusted listening to my story, he muted it. I don't know if he can't hear. He can't hear.
I don't know if you guys can hear my dog going crazy upstairs. If you can't hear him, I won't worry about it.
Oh, I hear him.
Yeah.
What's he going nuts about?
I don't know. He hates the broom. I think he's probably barking at the broom.
The broom.
And, my whole family's up there, so I'm trying to text him like, you guys are all up there. You know what I'm doing. And the dog is just going nuts.
They're like, we don't care about what you're doing.
Yeah,
talking to your loser friends.
we know you're talking to Joe and Dan.
They're not
We
your
know.
true friends.
You're not
They're
even
not
talking
your
to the
true-
vintage guys.
They're
They're
not
not-
your true vintage.
Yeah, they're not your true vintage friends.
Well,
What a
yeah,
jerk.
I'm a true, almost true friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
you need more than 20 episodes to become true friends.
yeah. Oh, 20 episodes in. So
Yeah.
so we'll be true friends next episode. So there you go.
No,
We're
I don't
changing
know.
our
I don't
name.
know. No, I said it takes more than 20. I didn't say
Oh,
it takes
more.
21.
More than
We
20.
can just sing that, and we're the three best friends that anyone could have. We're the three
No.
best friends that and we'll never ever. What's that? What's that movie
Dan,
called?
you don't seem too excited.
The Hangover.
about
The
that.
Hangover. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a good movie. That's a
Are
good
you
fun
are you
movie.
going to add it to your list?
I am gonna put it down on my
That,
list.
man, when I first saw that movie, there's quite a few parts that had me in tears of laughter.
Well, a couple of those parts. I just watched it last year, and I bought. I'm looking up here because I think I still have it here. I was looking for it the other day. I watched Hangover 1 and Hangover 2 on the streaming services. Then I got to Hangover 3, and no one was carrying it. And then I happened to find it at the thrift store, and I had it sitting in here forever to watch, and I just never watched it. But there's a lot of stuff that happens in those movies that you can't like say now.
You know what's the most
Like,
ridiculous?
give us an example, Dan.
Yeah, I can't say it now.
Why not? Yeah, I still quote that movie to this day. And it's the most. It's for whatever reason that part made me die laughing when they take. Is it Alan? Is that his name?
Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They take his
Satchel.
bag from him,
Satchel, yeah.
his satchel, and like they throw it or whatever. He's all, there's Skittles in there. That part cracks me up. So to this day, when like someone like throws a bag down or something, like there's Skittles in there. I don't know. It's just, and in my mind, it's absolutely hilarious.
So have you gone listing back, Jimmy?
Yeah, I started listing yesterday.
Or did you list when you're away?
No, I did not. I didn't have. I woke up one morning and didn't know that day I would be flying. Like I woke up, started getting messages from Sonia, and I was like, I better go. And so I was on a plane that evening. So I literally woke up, bought my ticket that day, and my son. So I didn't have anything prepped. So long story short, I didn't have anything ready in my phone to list while I was gone because I didn't know I was leaving that day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're back to listing.
Yeah. I've been taking pictures, listing, and sales are. I changed. We should talk about. Oh, I should have talked about this earlier, but I can give like a sneak peek and we can talk about some results. I changed up my promoted.
Oh, did you?
I removed my campaign that had the ceiling and all that, and I'm just doing like a flat rate, lower promotion. And I want to give it another week. I'm not too impressed with the way it's going.
Well, would you flat? Do you want to say how much you flat rated?
5%.
5%. That's what I do.
I can, looking at the numbers, I can see that impressions and clicks and everything as far as that are down. I will say though, because I'm always willing to I'm not always willing to admit I'm wrong, but I'm willing to acknowledge that I could be wrong and look into some numbers and stuff. And one thing I will say that happened right off the bat when I switched it is that my what they call organic impressions went up. So like if my organic impressions were at 20,000 a day before, now they're kind of leveling off now. But when I first made the change, my organic impressions doubled.
Oh,
so
really?
It made me think, okay, well, maybe there is something to this not being great. But ultimately now it's starting to level back off to where it was. So I don't know. I mean, I'm still scared to just completely turn it off, but I'm analyzing the numbers, looking at them. I was away, so I wasn't able to look at them closely until I got back. But my sales are definitely down, just across the board since I made that change. But it was a test I want. I always say test things yourself. It was a test I wanted to do. Maybe I'll update and I'll have more information next week if we talk about it. Maybe talk a little bit about it because that's one of the things I love to do is just test stuff on eBay, try different things. try it, see if it works, see if it doesn't work, and so that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, I did a few of that. We talked about it before, but I'm back to using the one that you just stopped with putting the ceiling on it and all that. So I don't know. So flat rate 5% across the board. So if eBay recommends like promoting at 6%, you're still promoting at it just stays at 5%,
Yeah,
right?
it's 5% on every now, but in the same breath, which never happened anymore. If trending was 2, I'm still at 5, which I never see trending that low anymore ever. It's those days are like gone.
Right.
Like I never see a low trending. So yeah, I'm gonna mess with it. I have one more idea of something that I want to try. I'm not gonna talk about that just yet. But if this keeps going like it is, I'm probably gonna scrap it and try something different. And this next idea is a radical idea. I'm not telling you guys about it right now.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm gonna do it, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a future episode.
you don't trust us. You don't trust us or the listeners.
Anybody, I don't trust anybody. Don't you know that already? We
Okay.
talked about this.
Dan, you're still promoting, right? Oh, you did 5%. That's what you said.
Yeah, I was doing 4 for a while, and then I just went back to 5, and then I just kept it at 5. And then I mean, my sales have been okay. Like I had a good week. My last week was pretty decent compared to my last. But I was it's been struggle looking. I was at the bins a few times, not really finding much.
Yeah.
But I don't spend enough time. I don't ever spend enough time there. Maybe this after that's what I was kind of getting to before. Was like I don't think I'm gonna stay away from the retail shop unless there's a sale. So after this week, I'm gonna because I have tons to list right now. Like
Okay.
after we get done, after when I get through my whatnot show today, I was picturing Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I think I have enough to get some listings done today, and then the rest of the week I'm gonna list off my stuff. Usually my whatnot shows take me forever to pack because I have all kinds of. I'm doing a garage sale, so it's all these weird shaped items that I'll have to fit in these boxes.
Yeah.
So it takes me forever. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll fit in there, and then it never does.
That's what I got to do. I got to get back to.
I sold one of those Monster High vehicles I bought.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I sold one. So I got them, and I got them, and they sat here for like a week or so, and then I listed them last week, and there was like 2 cars that were the same, and one of them like the hood has like discoloration in it, and I'm like, great.
Oh,
So I didn't see that in the picture, obviously, from the place. So I didn't sell that one. I sold the other one. I sold it for $20. So like, I mean, I'm on pace, but I did list. I think I listed them all for 20. So I'm on pace to barely lose any money if they sell. But I don't think the one's gonna sell for 20 because it's like the hood has like a discoloration in it. So I'll probably end up having to send an offer. I have some watchers right now, but I don't want to send an offer.
Yeah, because you need to keep the damage at a minimum.
I mean, but I thought about putting one of them in my whatnot show today, but I'm like, I'm never gonna sell it for anything.
Yeah,
but it'll be gone. It'll be out of here.
It'll be
like
gone.
It's nice.
The memory of it will
nice.
be gone now.
Yeah, but it's just like I rather have this, I have them up here. You see it up there?
Oh yeah.
You can't see this if you're listening on the listing of
on your favorite audio channel.
That's a pillow in that blue thing. It's a pillow. But anyway, that was it. I don't think
Joe, you got anything else? You were saying something, Joe.
No, I just
I interrupted. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, you're all right.
Getting back to my listing, I took a few days off and we went to Great Wolf Lodge.
Ooh.
Family, so that was.
You ever buy those wands while you're there?
No, but I didn't know what was going on with all those kids running around with these wands and pointing them at things. I didn't know what was going on.
Those Magic Quest wands sell. I sell those all the time.
I had no idea what it was. It was
our
our first time there, so we got to learn a lot of things there. So, but it was fun. But I didn't list anything like Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Got home Friday. I listed a couple things on Saturday. I just got to get back to, really listing.
Yeah,
after this, I'm gonna hopefully list maybe about 10 or 12 things, and I got a few things I have to do. I have to still do my shipping, so
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Well, I don't know. I might skip my. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm gonna skip my shipping today. I only have 2 items to go out, but I had this person bought 2 lots of. I'm talking about before when I said my friends. I'll get stuff from my friends. They gave me some. I cleared out a bunch of stuff, and I took a bunch of VHS tapes, and I listed those in like January. Made lots, and I sold 2 lots this weekend to the same person. I boxed them up and shipped them yesterday. And right when I was done dropping them off, the person came back and they bought like another lot of VHS tapes for me. So I think I need to probably go do that because
Hopefully these people aren't monitoring what you're selling them for and then coming back to you 3 months later and asking for
yeah. Well, I don't think so. Hopefully not.
No, I don't think so either.
They might.
All
Who
right.
knows?
Well, Dan, I'm looking forward to your side hustle stripper business card that you're going to be making.
And what time is your show tonight? Your whatnot?
5 p.m. your time.
5 p.m. my time. Okay.
4 p.m. my time.
I'll come in and say hi. I'll come over and say hi to the raid train.
Yeah, it should be fun. I already have a couple bids on stuff.
Oh,
that's
what?
good.
Pre-bids?
Yeah, a couple pre-bids.
Who's all involved in the rate? Who's all doing the show?
Paul, I know of Evolving Farmhouse.
Okay.
Terry, she has a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember who else is on
Okay.
this. I know Paul sent a list the other day, but I've been head down. What is it? Head down. Whatever. Working? I don't know if that's the right thing.
The grind was it the
Oh,
whatever.
Heads down, thumbs up. That's not what I was doing though.
Yeah, that's a good one too, Dan.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, everybody. This episode of the Pocket Change Podcast has been brought to you by our co-host. What do we call our sidekick? It's representing his whatnot. Go over to Dan and the Man's Whatnot. It's been promoted, whatever. By I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Next time on the Pocket Change Podcast.